Tonight at 6.
On this vote, the yeas are 53, the nays are 47, and this nomination is confirmed.
Miami Raised Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson making history as the first black woman to serve on the Supreme Court.
1 month after President Biden announced his nomination, Judge Brown Jackson's confirmation marks the first time 2 African Americans will sit on the U.S. Supreme Court simultaneously. Good evening. I'm Elliot Rodriguez.
And I'm Lauren Pastrana. It's also the first time that there will be 4 women on the high court serving together. From South Florida to the nation's capital, CBS 4 has team coverage. Natalie Brand joins us live from Capitol Hill with more on that moment next. But first, CBS 4's Joan Murray has a look at how the judge's South Florida roots played a role in this historic journey. Joan?
Well, what a day it has been here at Palmetto Senior High. Many students watching this historic moment, one of their own, someone who walked these halls nearly 3 decades ago. But the happiness, joy goes beyond this school as people all over South Florida who have known this woman for years weigh in on this tremendous accomplishment.
It gives me a lot of more pride in my school.
Pride and cheers all around Miami Palmetto Senior High, where the Student Council watched history unfold as the 1988 class president, Ketanji Brown Jackson, was confirmed as a U.S. Supreme Court justice.
It's really inspirational because they're looking in a mirror and they're seeing what someone just like them accomplished in their life.
Brown Jackson was a star debater who knew her destiny was law.
We are friends, and we were classmates from middle school, high school, college, and law school.
Miami attorney Stephen Rosenthal has known Brown Jackson nearly all her life.
She's brilliant. She has a charismatic personality, the type of person that people were always drawn to, and she's lovable. She was elected our class president at Palmetto Junior High School as well. She's a natural leader. And aside from that, she's also just very grounded. She's a normal person who is a mom and a wife and understands the world that we live in.
Rosenthal said Brown Jackson's vast experience as a federal judge, former public defender, and prison sentence reformer make her supremely qualified to serve on the nation's highest court.
Ketanji represents the promise of our generation. She's a supremely talented Black woman who grew up at a time in our country's history where her opportunities knew no limits. And she is achieving the ultimate office for a lawyer in this country.
Brown Jackson's parents live not far from here in Cutler Bay. Her mother is a former principal in Miami-Dade. Her father was a former lawyer for the school board. Tomorrow at this school, there will be a pep rally in honor of Ketanji Brown Jackson. Now, she will not take her seat on the court for several months after Justice Stephen Breyer, a man she clerked for, steps down. Reporting tonight in Pinecrest, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
Joan, thank you. And our live team coverage continues with Natalie Brand live on Capitol Hill, where the confirmation vote took place earlier today.
Natalie, take us inside the Senate chambers today when that announcement was made. What was it like?
Well, Elliot, Lauren, after that final tally was read, there was a pause, a recognition of this historic moment, nearly a full minute of applause and cheering, as well as a standing ovation, as once again, as we've been talking about, history made on the Senate floor today. So that was certainly a stunning moment that we saw. And from producers and reporters who were outside the Senate gallery during that chamber, they noted that there were a lot of visitors to the Capitol here for that historic moment as well. Now, Judge Jackson not only makes history as the first Black woman to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court once she is officially sworn in, but she will also be the first former public defender. And that's a perspective that many of her supporters and Democrats who voted for this confirmation say has been missing from the bench to the nation's highest court.
Quite a bit of history being made here. And Natalie, as Joan Murray just mentioned, as of right now, there's still no official vacancy in the court because Justice Stephen Breyer has not left office yet. There's still a few months left for that. So when can we expect Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to become Justice Jackson and to be sworn in and start actually hearing cases?
Yeah, as Joan mentioned, not for a few months because Justice Breyer will serve the current term. That's set to end in June and July. That means he will also be involved in decisions for some of the big cases that we are still waiting for justices to decide, including that Mississippi abortion case, that challenge to Roe versus Wade. So that will still happen under Justice Breyer, but we can expect Judge Jackson to be officially sworn in and then take her seat on the bench in the fall for the fall term. That's when she will take over. Also important to note that her confirmation does not change the ideological makeup of the Supreme Court, the current 6-3 conservative majority, but it does certainly change the face of the Supreme Court. Elliot?
It certainly does. It certainly does change it. Natalie, thank you very much for that insight from Washington tonight.
And Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson received bipartisan backing with a final vote of 53 to 47 in the upper chamber. 3 Republicans joined Democrats in confirming her, but Florida senators were not among them. Both Marco Rubio and Rick Scott voted against her confirmation.